Essentially, this is another way of saying we're doing a 25.
President Trump has widened the global trade war he started. Bad for businesses, worse for consumers, equally in the US.
The last 3 months of 2024 saw a massive sell-off of US bonds. Multiple nations reduced their holdings. Brazil pulled out $55.9 billion. Ireland decreased its holdings by $42 billion. The Cayman Islands and Canada cut $41.2 billion and $37 billion respectively. India and Norway each reduced nearly $35 billion. Even Japan and China lowered their holdings by $7.8 billion. This widespread sell-off signals a loss of trust in US assets. The traditional stability of the US dollar is now in question. Are these countries preparing for a major shift in global finance? China is also retaliating in the ongoing trade war. It is responding to tariffs imposed by former President Trump.
最も高い賃金をお支払いをしているということがございます。
Targeting key US industries. The US has now lost access to China's car market. A 25% tariff on American vehicles has shut out US automakers. This puts immense pressure on American businesses and consumers. American agriculture is suffering. China has slashed imports of US soybeans, corn, and pork. The US Department of Agriculture reports a major drop. China's soybean imports from the US fell from 36 million tons to 16 million tons between 2018 and 2020. This decline has cost American farmers billions. The auto industry faces major challenges. The 25% tariff on US-made cars is hitting Tesla, Ford, and GM hard. Tesla, once dominant in China, now struggle. Chinese automakers like BYD, NIO, and XPeng are rising. Government subsidies and strong infrastructure support them. These companies produce high-performance EVs at lower costs. American automakers must cut profits or lose market share. Other industries are also feeling the impact. Higher import costs are driving up prices. Consumer electronics, agriculture, and construction are heavily affected. In 2021, US consumer goods production costs rose 7%. Prices for smartphones, appliances, and electronics surged by 15 to 20%. American families now pay more for everyday items. Meanwhile, incomes remain stagnant. China continues to dominate green technology. BYD, NIO, and XPeng lead the EV market. Massive government investments fuel their success. Subsidies and policy support allow them to scale production. China is securing its position as the global leader in clean energy. The trade war is reshaping global trade. While the US imposes tariffs, China builds new alliances. It is strengthening ties with Europe, Africa, and Latin America. Many nations now see China as a key economic partner. The US risks isolating itself on the world stage. To stay competitive, American companies must adapt. Investing in EVs, green tech, and automation is crucial. Cutting production costs is essential. The global market is evolving fast because the real shock is just ahead. Trump is threatening the US legal system. Are law firms being silenced? Trump just signed a highly controversial executive order. Is he
They stripped these major law firms of the security clearances needed and
trying to control the legal industry? Some say he is pressuring firms to avoid cases against him. Trump's new order targets major law firms. One firm is being singled out. It's crime attending a meeting with Special Prosecutor Jack Smith. Is investigating Trump. Is this just legal strategy? Or is Trump sending a message? Experts warn this isn't just an order. It's a strategy to control the judiciary. Trump's real goal? Make law firms too afraid to challenge him. If top firms can be threatened, who is safe? The legal community is falling silent. Once vocal firms now say nothing. Why? because they fear retaliation. Prominent attorney Mark Elias warns, Trump doesn't need to take down every firm, just a few. The rest will step back on their own. It's not just law firms. Media outlets critical of Trump face lawsuits. Corporations opposing him suffer political attacks. Now, the legal profession may be his next target. Is Trump undermining the justice system? If law firms fear him, who will challenge him? If lawyers won't take cases, who defends democracy? Legal experts say the system could become a tool for power, not justice. This is bigger than one order. It may be a test. If law firms give in, what happens next? Will judges face pressure? Will prosecutors hesitate? Will witnesses fear speaking out? This could shake American democracy to its core. We've seen this before. Trump has attacked the judiciary before. He called judges biased. He pressured the DOJ to investigate opponents. He targeted prosecutors. Now it's law firms. If he silences them, who's next? Mark Elias refuses to back down. While others step back, he stands firm. His firm democracy docket keeps fighting. They won't abandon election law cases. They won't let fear control the legal system. But can one firm stand against Trump? If others stay silent, will it be enough? If law firms back down, the justice system weakens. Silence could reshape American law. Trump's Sunday was marked by controversy and economic concerns. He made a provocative post and attended a lavish party featuring $445,000 Birkin bags. Meanwhile, the US GDP is projected to decline by 2.5%, and consumer sentiment has hit record lows. This raises a critical question. Is the US facing a real economic crisis, or is this just political maneuvering? The numbers reveal a troubling reality. The US GDP is expected to decline by 2.5% this quarter, a major warning sign. Consumer sentiment has also dropped significantly, even among individuals earning over $100,000 per year. Despite this, Trump hosted an extravagant event at Mar-a-Lago, continuing to raise funds from his supporters. This prompts an important question. Does Trump have a concrete economic plan, or is this simply political theater? On Sunday, Trump posted a striking image. One side showed his official presidential portrait, while the other displayed his mugshot from his legal troubles. In addition, he shared an image of an auto pen, seemingly mocking Biden's leadership. While Trump focused on attacking his opponent, the US economy continued to face serious challenges. According to Apollo Global Management, consumer sentiment is plummeting, particularly among high earners. GDP is expected to drop significantly. Meanwhile, under Biden, over 16 million new jobs have been created, and economic growth remains steady. This raises an important question. Does Trump actually have a strategy for economic recovery, or are his promises empty? As millions of Americans struggle with rising costs, Trump hosted a lavish party featuring $445,000 Birkin bags on display. At the same time, he sent fundraising emails urging his supporters to donate. This leads to a crucial concern. Where is all this money going? Is it being used to help the economy, or is it funding Trump's luxurious lifestyle? Trump's television allies defended him aggressively. House Speaker Mike Johnson appeared on TV, noticeably tanned, echoing Trump's signature look. More importantly, he declared, "We will restore the economy to its golden age. Give us time, and we will turn things around." However, he failed to present any concrete economic plan. This raises a key question. Is the US economy truly in crisis, or is this just a political narrative? Trump has also stirred controversy with his statements on Ukraine. Recently, he shared multiple Russia-aligned articles, prompting Ukraine's government to publicly refute them. His advisors later stated that Trump and Putin share a similar leadership philosophy. They also suggested that Ukraine should abandon its NATO aspirations. This raises a pressing question. Do these statements truly prioritize America's interests? In another controversial move, Trump announced his plan to invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. This would allow him to deport immigrants without due process. However, within 14 days, a federal judge issued an injunction blocking the move. Trump ignored the ruling, and hundreds of Venezuelans, labeled as criminals by his administration, were deported to El Salvador without trials. The question remains, is this a legitimate immigration solution, or is it merely a political stunt? Amid these debates, the most crucial question is whether the US is actually on the verge of economic collapse, or if this is just political messaging. The hard data tells a different story. The GDP continues to grow, unemployment remains low, and inflation is declining. So what is the real truth? The next developments may be even more shocking. Trade is collapsing, education is being dismantled, and social welfare programs are being slashed. Many of these issues stem directly from Trump's policies. As inflation and economic instability persist, Trump's actions appear to be making the situation worse. The key question now is, do Americans still trust him? Trump and the Republican Party continue to make headlines, particularly regarding their economic policies, education reforms, and social welfare decisions. One of Trump's most significant moves was raising tariffs on imported aluminum and steel by 25%. This decision targeted major trade partners such as the European Union, Canada, and Mexico. The EU retaliated swiftly by imposing tariffs on American goods, including a 20% tax on cars, a 25% tax on whiskey, and a 30% tax on agricultural products. The consequences of these tariffs were immediate and severe. US exports suffered massive losses, with American companies losing over $15 billion in revenue in the first year of the trade war. Economists warned of rising inflation as the cost of imported goods soared. Over 2 years, consumer prices surged by 12%, leading to thousands of job losses in manufacturing sectors. States like Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin were hit particularly hard. Trump's approval ratings in agricultural states dropped by 9% as farmers struggled under retaliatory tariffs from China and Europe. Beyond economic turmoil, Trump has also faced criticism for his actions against the education system. More than 50% of the Department of Education's staff was fired, severely impacting federal programs that support schools. In a shocking event, the Trump administration allegedly staged a fake security emergency to evacuate employees from their offices, only to lock them out permanently. Funding for programs that assist students with disabilities was cut by 40%, leaving 6 million children without essential support. Low-income students also suffered as school lunch assistance programs faced a 30% budget reduction. Public schools in states like Texas, Florida, and Ohio warned of impending budget shortfalls, leading to potential teacher layoffs and increased class sizes. Dropout rates among students with disabilities spiked by 18% within just 6 months of these policies. Former education officials condemned these actions as a direct attack on equal access to education. Trump's policies have also impacted social welfare programs. His administration cut $880 billion from Medicaid, affecting healthcare for over 80 million low-income Americans. Additionally, 70,000 employees at the Department of Veterans Affairs, VA, were laid off, despite 19 million veterans relying on VA medical care. Another 7,000 employees at the Social Security Administration were fired, leading to massive delays in processing retirement and disability benefits. As a result, over 4 million Americans lost health insurance in just 1 year. VA hospitals in states like New York, California, and Texas became overwhelmed, causing patient wait times to double. Individuals with disabilities now face an average 12-month wait for benefits, compared to 6 months before these cuts. Veterans have voiced their frustration, with one stating, "I fought for this country, but now I have to fight just to get health care. Trump isn't protecting us, he's abandoning us." Many Americans feel betrayed by these policies. Democratic lawmakers have labeled them the greatest political scam in history. They argue that Trump falsely claims to support the working class while enacting policies that primarily benefit billionaires. A recent poll revealed that 45% of former Trump voters now feel deceived. Protests have erupted in major cities like Washington, New York, and Chicago, demanding an end to social welfare cuts. While world leaders are tackling global issues, Trump has been spotted on golf courses and attending private events instead. His absence from critical international meetings has led to speculation about his health. Recent footage from Mar-a-Lago has raised concerns, showing him with slower movements, an unsteady gait, and signs of fatigue. At nearly 80 years old, questions about his physical condition are becoming more prominent. Historically, health concerns have influenced political campaigns. In 2016, Hillary Clinton faced scrutiny after a single moment of physical weakness. In 2024, Joe Biden's cognitive abilities were heavily debated. Now, similar concerns surround Trump. Republican insiders have expressed worries about his stamina, citing frequent breaks during meetings and a declining ability to deliver his usual forceful speeches. This has led to speculation. Is Trump hiding the truth about his health? Or is this just another media distraction? Adding to the controversy, Trump recently claimed to have a top-secret file exposing Jeffrey Epstein's network. His supporters hailed it as a major revelation. However, the documents were already released in 2021, revealing nothing new. This pattern is familiar. Past claims, such as the Obama wiretap allegations and the so-called Biden scandal files, were later debunked or exaggerated. This raises a crucial question. Is Trump using these claims to distract from more urgent issues? Most recently, Trump announced a government-backed cryptocurrency fund called the Crypto Strategic Reserve. However, Bitcoin was excluded from the initiative. Instead, Trump promoted alternative cryptocurrencies like XRP, ADA, and Solana, projects linked to an investment firm associated with his close allies. This raises serious concerns. Is this a genuine economic effort, or is Trump using government funds to benefit his inner circle? With protests erupting and watchdog groups demanding investigations, the biggest question remains: is Trump truly acting in America's best interest, or is he prioritizing personal gain?